people. This week we're doing grapes. I really seriously thought of calling this set the Grapes of Wrath because I've been in such a foul mood lately, but they gave me really no trouble and it was kind of a fun set to do, so here we go. Starting off with a white base. There will be 2 coats of this. While I'm on the topic, I just wanted to say a big thank you to you guys for watching my tutorials, and some of you interact with them pretty much every time. Kelly, Susie, Amy, talking to you guys, but I wanted to let you know that I really seriously appreciate all of your interactions and you guys watching my tutorials at all. It means a lot to me. One thing you guys don't know about me is I had, for about 15 years, I was in a very severe depression. And lately, I've been feeling myself starting to spiral down. And the one thing that's been keeping me able to stay on track and, keep my head above water is making these nail tutorials. So once again, thank you guys so much. It really helps me to stay, on a good track here when I have something I have to do every week and I have a deadline for getting it done. That just makes me, keeps me on the straight and narrow, I guess. So once again, thank you. Now moving on, while we're still on the second coat of this too, my materials I've been waiting for all this time are finally coming tomorrow. For some reason I thought they were coming on the 21st if it was the 31st. But next week I'll be doing my own nails again. So it'll be the week after that when I'm finally going to get to use that wave liner gel and do the nails that I've been wanting to do now for the last month. So that's the next 2 sets coming up, and then I'll be going out to my folks, so I'll be squeezing in a set of shorties for my mom at some point in there. Okay, we're going to be using alcohol ink. Yeah, see that? The brush broke off of that entirely. And the reason I'm using this one and not one of the ones that you're going to see with the purple one when I get to that is because this one was a much lighter green. The other one, with the other set of these that I have, the green was really dark and I didn't want it dark. I just wanted really light. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I wanted to put these on white nails, but I did not want it to be bright white, like in your face, blinding white. So I'm just putting a little dab of alcohol ink here and there, and then I'm taking alcohol on my brush and I'm kind of washing it back out. So I just have the very faintest kind of sort of a marble, if you will, but not totally, just to put a little bit of color on there and make it so it's not white. And this will be, I believe this is the purple one. No, we're still on green. Okay. When I did the second rack of these, I must have shaken. I don't think I either didn't shake the green at the beginning or it didn't, for some reason it didn't mix or whatever, I don't know. But the second rack, the green was much darker. So you'll notice if you look at the picture that shows the full set at the end of this, you'll see that one rack of them is much darker than the other ones. Okay, this is the brand that I normally use as alcohol ink. That other one was one that I had just bought at one point because I was playing around with it and I wanted to see what it was all about. This is the one that had the really dark green in the set, so I didn't want to use that one. But as you can see, I'm just kind of washing it back out with alcohol here. And I know it said blooming gel on the bottle of this, but it's not. It's alcohol ink. I don't know why they put that on there like that. Makes no sense. Okay, now we're back to green, I believe. Oh, no, we still got purple. I forget which one we're on now. I've lost track, you guys. This might be the pinky now. This one I got a little crazy with the purple. Oh no, this is the one that has the This is the ring finger. It's going to be the accent nail. That's right. I probably should have used a different brush for this part of the process too, because that's one of my liner brushes that I'm kind of mashing up a bit. Okay, there we are. There's where we are so far. Now we're ready to move on to making of the grapes. I had got a set of these carving gels recently, and we're going to start with this. This is supposed to be purple. To me, it looked very dark, almost black. So I am going to be mixing a little bit of white with it because I don't want it to be that dark. And I knew going in here that I was going to be handling this with no gloves. So I knew I was going to probably have an issue with sore fingers, which I did, but only for one day. The day after this, like my thumb and forefinger got a little sore where I was using to manipulate the... See, I tried to mix them together on here and it just wasn't working very well. So I was like, well, screw it. I'm just going to do it with my hands. That's also why I don't have gloves on, because doing this little delicate stuff with the carving gel doesn't work very well for me with gloves on, because it likes to stick to the gloves and then it's hard to get off of there. So I just bit the bullet and decided to go for it like this. But we're just going to mix it until we get them mixed together. And eventually I'll get it mixed enough. And there, that should be pretty good. Okay, I think we're good. There we go. Now it actually looks like purple instead of black. And I'm just going to cut little bits off of here and roll them into little balls, and that's going to be our grapes. Now some of these got kind of big, and I did go back and cut some of them in half, make them smaller, because as I was doing this, I was realizing, A, I didn't make enough purple, and B, I was making them way bigger than I really wanted them to be. I've really been enjoying doing stuff with this kind of carving gel things, and I really kind of want to start playing around with that polymer clay, but I've already gone in the resin direction, so if I start on the clay, then I'm going to have to get all that stuff, and I might just get a cheap little set of it just to play with and see how it goes. I've been watching a lot of tutorials on the polymer clay, people making stuff, and the resin, so I was kind of torn. If I remember, next week I'll post a picture of one of my resin projects that I did for my daughter for her birthday. It's the one thing I've made so far that I'm actually proud of how it came out. Hopefully I'll remember that, then you guys can see, give me your opinion. I've got a craft show coming up, actually 2 of them. One next month and one in November. So I'm going to make a couple more of, well, what I made her was a succulent bowl. So I'm going to make a couple more of those that hopefully I'm going to be able to sell at the show. Of which I'll be taking my nails. Not that anybody buys them, but I go with them anyway. People like to look at them. If you're going to be in, if you're in the Southern California area and you're going to be in or around Fontana next month, of which I forgot the date of it, but I will post a thing when it gets a little closer. Not next month, in October, I mean. I'm already into September in my head. But yeah, in October and then in November. Anyway, if you guys are in that area, anybody, you want to come out and see me there, that'd be pretty awesome. We can talk nails or resin or whatever. Okay, this one, this second batch of this I made just a skosh lighter than the first batch. But I'm just going to keep going here until I'll get all those made. I think I ended up with a couple extra ones at the end, so I just smushed them back up and stuck them back in the pot of the the carving gel. One thing I'll say too is I went in to buy, I was out of I think 3 colors of the ones I have already before these. So I went in to get those 3 colors, and I came across this whole set of them that frankly was almost as cheap as getting just the 3 colors separately. So I just decided I was going to get the whole set. So, and it did have some different colors in it than my original ones had, and this is a much better consistency, and I felt like it was way easier to work with. Now they came from AliExpress, and there's not really a brand name other than that lid that I showed you at the front. That's all that's on them. But they're really nice. My other ones seem to be the older ones that I have seem to be a lot like more dry, much drier consistency. So they want to, like when you're doing things with them, they kind of want to crumble sometimes instead of, you know, when you're working with it, instead of rolling nicely or doing whatever you're trying to do. So I'm pretty pleased with these. And we're still making grapes here. Almost done, guys, almost done. One of them up there has got white in it that I did not mix thoroughly, it looks like. Okay, now we got our grapes. Oopsie. There's the grapes. And we're going to start with the accent now, which is going to be the ring finger. I'm going to put a little bit of alcohol on the nail itself, so they will stick to that and kind of melt onto there. That'll give them a better adhesive deal. And we're just going to place them on here in a grape-like fashion. Pretty much this whole set went nice and smoothly. I didn't have any problems with it. So now I thought I was going to pick this up with that, but I had to it wouldn't come off the mat, and then trying to pick it up with the tweezers, all I was doing was mashing it up. Okay. I'm going to I'm going to add a little more alcohol, and we're going to go with another row of the grapes. We've had some decent weather. It was actually semi-cool. It was we had a couple days only in the high 80s this last week. It was really nice. It actually got down into the 60s at night, so it was much better for sleeping. Okay, there's our grapes. I've mashed them down just a little bit onto there. And that's it for now. We're going to move on to the next part. Anyway, as I was saying, it was nice, and I was thinking, okay, maybe we're finally on the wind down at the end of summer, but nope. Next week, we're back up to triple digits for the entire week again. Not looking forward to that. Okay, moving on. We're going to get just a little skosh of this brown out of here. And we're going to make a little stem on the top of the grapes. A little bit more alcohol. And there we go. Now I'm just going to manipulate it a tiny bit just to get it on there. And then we're going to move on to a green leaf. Now this green was a lot brighter than I was expecting it to be, and I should have maybe taken a little bit of that brown and mixed it in there, but I didn't think of it at the time. I just decided I'm just going to go for it. So again, a little bit of alcohol, and I'm just basically rolled it into a ball. We're just going to get it to stick on there, and then I will mash it until I get a leaf shape. And I had to remember too that these don't look like the typical leaves that I usually am making with this kind of stuff. This has got more of a kind of almost like a maple leaf look to it. Sort of, kind of. Now see, I've got it squished a little thin in the middle. You do need to be careful about that unless that's what you're going for. And then I will start squooshing in the sides a little so we get more of a leaf shape going. And we're just mashing that up into some semblance of a leaf shape. And then I'm going to use part of my cuticle pusher tool, my multi-tool. I swear I get the most use out of this tool. I'm just going to make my lines in some of this a little bit more pronounced so it looks more leafy. And now it's ready to go in and cure. It's going to cure for 2 minutes. And in it goes. And now we're ready to move on to the stickers. This is the set of stickers. This came out of the set that you guys have been seeing me use now for quite a while. There was a set on Amazon that had, I think, 10 or 12 sticker sheets, and each one was a different fruit. And this is the grape one of those. Now, this is the thumbnail, and I wanted to use this top corner piece. So, being that it is so big, I don't know why they made this so big when these are supposed to be going on nails. I can't imagine. You would have to have some awfully long nails to be having, you know, this long, you would need this long of big of a piece. Okay, I wasn't happy with the placement on there, and this stuff is very delicate, as you guys know, these little thin stickers. So I needed to get my placement better. I wasn't crazy about that gap that's at the top of there, but we're going to take care of that as we go here. I tried to get it to bend up around that top curvy bit, and it just wasn't going to. And now I broke part of it off, which is okay because I wasn't going to use that on there anyway. But so that's when I kind of decided I better quit fooling around with it before I break it again and just get it on there and deal with the gap in another way. So that's what we did. Now getting these all down on here nicely. Once I get it lined up where I want it and I'm smoothing it out, the stickers are really nice. They stick good. They're thin. They come off the... Oopsie, there goes the nail again. They come off the sticker sheet easily without tearing or wrinkling. So I'm just smoothing these down. Now, being that this went around this curvy part and then kind of curved in at the bottom inwards, it made a couple of places where it wanted to have a wrinkle. I was able to smooth those out carefully. And then we're going to cut off the excess as soon as I find my scissors. Okay, and around this top bit. Now, once I get these trimmed off, this excess part, I usually take a fine nail file, like a finishing file, and just go straight up and down on the edges, just like from the top straight down to, oh, for Pete's sake, there goes a helicopter again, to smooth off those edges and get any little tiny bits that are sticking over the edge off of there. Yeah, these helicopters lately have been crazy, and we live not all that far from an Air Force base, so we get that loud, the loud planes and helicopters and whatnot from the base flying back and forth. Actually, what we actually live between an Air Force base and a naval base or a Marine base that's on the coast. So we're like, and there's stuff going back and forth between the two of them a lot. So that's why we get these loud planes and helicopters. Anyway, now I'm going to deal with that gap that's at the top of there. What I did was I used one of the long, straight looking grape clusters, and we're going to lay that right across the top of there. It's not going to completely cover it up. Okay, that's not even on there right. It's not going to completely cover it up, but it's going to disguise it enough so that it's not glaringly obvious. There we go. That's how we fix that problem. Now it looks like it's just part of the grape arbor up there. And I'm going to add a couple more little grape clusters to this. He did not want to cooperate. Okay, and then one more is going to go on that top corner on the right side now. I kind of thought of doing like a wine bottle and maybe a wine glass too on this set, but then that kind of goes in a whole nother direction with just the grapes and this being part of my fruity collection, so I nixed that idea. Okay, just making sure, since I've layered stickers on top of stickers here, I'm just making sure everything is stuck down good. Okay, moving on to the index finger now. I'm going with the purple ones on here. And you can see that kind of mottled background just gives it just a little bit of something. So, like I said, I didn't want it to be bright white. I think it gave it a little nicer finish. Okay, that's that one. Moving on to the middle finger. I decided to use this broken off piece of the arbor on here just to tie that in with the thumbnail. Come on. Sometimes it's frustrating watching myself do these. It's like, what are you doing? Just stick it on there. And we're going to hang some grapes on there too. Well, that's too far off the side. And doing this, when I try to get it back off, I'm going to rip part of that purple part off. See? So now I'm going to cut that. I'm going to cut most of that off. Some of it tore off, but I'm just going to try and kind of stick it back on here with that. Trying to get a hold of these things and keep it from moving around while I'm trying to stick it back on. Okay, I just cut a little bit more of the purple off of that. So I'm going to stick this back on here. There we go. And then I'm going to put one more near the top. There we go. And that'll be that one. Okay, moving on to the accent now with the grapes, the 3D grapes. On this one, I just wanted something on the top because it just looked too plain. So what I decided to do was I grabbed that other piece that we cut off of the arbor, the long arbor piece, and then I'm going to put that just straight across this top part. And it's crooked. Take two. go. Just to tie it in with the other nails a little bit better, and then we're going to trim the excess off. And there we go. Moving on to the pinky. Pinky nail, I'm just going to put loose grapes on there. There's some single grapes, as you can see. So I'm just going to put some loose ones on there and one leaf. Now that one, this one, I managed to crease it when I was putting it on, but I was able to work the wrinkle out of it. Not so much right here, but before I top coat, I got the wrinkle all worked out of that one. And we're going to give them a double one here. Another purple one near the top. And the leaf. Here we go. Okay, and here we are so far. And we're going to be ready for top coating. And here we go. I'm using my tempered top coat. Now you look at that pinky nail, see how it looks like there's blue in the background? That's from the green when I did it the second time. This is the second rack. I'm going to skip over the accent nail for the moment. Now I did put 2 layers of top coat on these. I'm only going to show you the one, but I did do 2 because when I layer stickers like that, sometimes they don't want to stay as well. So I like to make sure I've got them encapsulated in there pretty well. Especially this thumbnail where I put a lot of sticker on there, several of them. I'm not crazy about that background with that blue look to it, but it is what it is now. Now for this one, I'm just going to go on the base part of it. I'm going to put top coat like normal. And then I'm going to wipe off my brush into the bottle so there's barely any on there, and then I'm just going to skim across the top of the carving gel stuff because I didn't want a lot on there because it'll pull into all the little crevices and then you lose your detail that way. I just wanted enough to give it a shine, and that's it. And I did not put a second coat on the 3D parts. I only put it on the base part of that one. So there we are, ready to cure. And in we go, and there we are with the finished set. I think they turned out pretty nice. I like them. I hope you guys like them, and if you do, please give me a like. I really do appreciate it. And if you want to see more, I upload a new tutorial every Saturday. And as I already said, next week I'm back on my own nails, so we'll see what I come up with for that. That's it for now, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.